Kevin.
Thanks. Thanks, great talk. And it's the first time hearing about thanks again, great talk. It's the first time hearing about your organization and the type of work you're doing. And it looks like magic to me, going from that point cloud to the 3D representation. Maybe this question doesn't make sense, but I'm working with a lot of data from, the system, like scalar measurements, what the network port counters are doing and so on. Is there any way to translate this compactness that you're doing with 3D images to that type of data?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think one of the things that was discovered back in the 80s when the JPEG format was sort of defined was that organic things have, like fuzzy boundaries is a really good way of encoding organic things. And if you actually look at the new JPEG XL standard, they have var DCT for all the fuzzy things for us, for pictures of us and the things we have in our world. Even things like this end up fuzzy because of all the lighting and variations and things that go on. But they actually have a different approach effectively for PNG, for the synthetic images that we might generate, which have very hard edges. So the only thing I'd say about scalar data is if it can be represented or if it's sampled from things that have organic behavior, absolutely. So for example, for motion capture built in our engine, if you have data of humans moving, even though those are basically rotation angles or quaternions over time, they follow these amazing organic curves. So they're a perfect example of something that while it's, scalar data, it compresses really, really well. So
Thanks. Makes the next picture. And yes, I am live. I have a question. What is your market these days?
So there's a huge market for the inspection of microbiology. So essentially there are many people around the world who are considered technicians, and they have to look at things like embryos. So for example, in New Zealand, we would use IVF with cattle if it wasn't so expensive. We use it with humans because you may have no choice. The benefit is you get to select the genes of both the male and the female genetics. So the trick is, can you make it more objective, more efficient? Could the vet do it rather than having to send it to a lab and go through what is nobody really enjoys grading embryos. It's pretty hard work, and it's just literally not objective because you're using words to describe. It should be plump or it should be smooth to describe the egg. And this would literally generate, or does generate, objective results, which you can then measure against outcomes. So if you implant the ones that you think are grade 1, you can look at the yearling weights and you can see the pregnancies, and you can actually cross-correlate that against real data. When you think about things like, obviously, lithography and photonics, those are, trillion-dollar industries. So I think there's, the idea of quality assurance for things that are transparent as a logical extension of what we've been doing with the automotive space and the aerospace with surfaces.
But for example, in Brebner, there's a MBA, Ministry of Primary Industries. Are they at least aware that you exist?
Yep. We've got a research project with Ag Research at the moment, which is making progress. And I think the other areas in food ingredients. So, for example, if you're Fonterra, you're selling mozzarella cheese as an ingredient to food suppliers, then they have requirements about the length of the lipids so that the mozzarella cheese is appropriately stretchy. And at the moment, that has to be done under a confocal laser microscope by someone who's been appropriately trained. And as a result, that's done periodically. It'd be much better if that could just be a little imaging device that was connected to the output of the cheese system so that it was 100% testing.
All right. Well, join me thanking David for a fantastic talk.